And I think that it's important that in the context of the very profound observations that have been made by the panelists today, that we rethink a little bit how the world is. My first fact of life is the world is a sorry mess. I don't care where you go and look. Every day you pick up the newspaper, no place seems to be better off. Maybe Tunisia, I might give you that. But the rest of the world, you take a look around, things are sort of going downhill slowly, economically, security-wise, stability-wise. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. I think that our problem is not our capabilities. Our problem is our policies and our will to use those capabilities. And it's that uncertainty is causing us to needlessly lose, I think, clout on a global basis. There has been another good piece of good news, and it's very important. I think you know this as well as I. And that is there has been movement on the MEK problem because of Camp Ashraf and what happened there. That was not in vain. Things are happening. They're happening too slowly. We don't have the full answers, but as you've heard others say, and I would confirm, that first of all, there are more people who understand what happened now. There are more people focused on this question about what is happening to the MEK. There is a question about who is going to be the protectorate of the MEK in the days ahead. And then there is a more basic question about who is going to lead to the question as we approach the December deadline of what happens to the camp. So this is a good area in the sense of we are getting people to recognize there's an issue. Congressmen are paying attention. People in the State Department are paying attention. And there are people who are involved with the responsibility of dealing with this problem who are beginning to deal with it. That is good news, and you should get some credit for that, and I readily give it to you. I want to go back to this atmosphere of uncertainty because I do feel it's very important that we understand that we need to make decisions in government. It's what we get paid to do. I ask these following questions quite often to audiences. Are we at war? How many people in this room think the United States of America is at war? That's usually the answer I get. It's usually split. In fact, we are at war, but there's not a lot of people who think so. And if we are at war, actually, who is the enemy? And if we are at war and we are questioning who's the enemy, we have to ask, where's the battlefield? Is it just Iraq? Is it just Iraq and Afghanistan? Or is there another battlefield as well? Do we pay any attention to the fact there's domestic terrorism and the people are trying to blow up airplanes or Times Square or Fort Hood or whatever it might be? So if we recognize we are at war, we recognize that there is an enemy, we recognize that some of them are here among us, the next question is, well, what are the rules of engagement? Is this something for the police department? Do you call 9/11? Or do we actually employ some kind of a military force and an intelligence force to deal with this threat to our security, which is now among us? The next question you always ask about a war is, are we winning? The next question you ask is, how do you define winning? What is winning in the war that we're fighting right now? And when you get through all of this and you look at the fact that there are more UBLs out there, just taking out Osama bin Laden didn't do it. There's a new list out today of 5 new UBLs that we're going after in the war, and there'll be 5 more after them because we're not going to run out of them in any time soon. The hallmark response, in my view, has been that this indecision in how